Here's the trade. Nobody prices properly. Scotland's season doesn't end when the calendar says. It ends on one weekend. Get in front of it and you get the good version. Miss it and you're on a winter trip with an autumn name. You're with Celtic Explorer. Let's get off the main road. That weekend has a date and I'll come back to it, because before the date's any use to you, you need to know what actually changes about a trip up here in autumn, and it isn't the thing you're worried about. Ask anyone what's putting them off and you get the same answer every time. Midges. Let's settle that one now, because it's making people book the wrong fortnight. They're a high summer insect. They want warm, still damp air. They're at their worst in the middle of the year and they go as the nights turn cold. By roughly the middle of September, they're finished for the season. One cold night does most of the work. If autumn's your window, that worry is already spent. Bring the repellent. If you're camping on the west coast, by all means. But don't let an insect the size of a full stop pick your dates. So what should pick them? Light. And this is where people from further south get caught out, because the Highlands sit further north than Moscow. Days don't shorten here the way they shorten at home. They fall off a shelf, which means the question was never really whether it rains on you. It's how many hours you get with the headlights off, and that number is moving every week while you're deciding. It's been shrinking since midsummer. It won't wait for you to book. How fast? Take Inverness. In early September, you get just under 14 hours between sunrise and sunset. By the end of October, it's 9 hours and 6 minutes. That's nearly 5 hours of touring day gone across 2 months. Call it half an hour a week. Half an hour a week sounds harmless. It isn't, because a Highland day is a daylight day. The roads worth driving are single track with passing places, no street lights, no cat's eyes, and red deer on the tarmac at dusk, which is exactly when you'd be pushing on to make the time up. The practical version is this: a day that fits 3 decent stops in early September, fits 2 in late October. Same routes, same driver, same speed limits. You run out of light before you run out of road. Move an existing itinerary a month later and you don't just get colder, you get shorter. Add a day or drop a stop. Those are the options, and choosing now is a great deal cheaper than choosing at 4:30 in a lay-by, and that's assuming the things you're driving to are open. Some of them aren't. More than 40 of the smaller staffed historic sites run on a summer season, and as of publication, most of them shut at the end of September. Some go earlier, the ones with the ticket hut and the wee shop. If one of those is the reason you're going, check its last day. The back half of the month isn't a preference, it's a deadline. The famous ones keep going well past September, but they trim. Eilean Donan takes its last admission at 5 through most of October, and then it drops to 3. Check whatever you're planning the day around before you travel, because they don't all switch on the same date, 2 hours off the end of the afternoon, and it happens overnight. That isn't one castle being awkward. Attractions right across the country pivot in the same few days, and there's a reason for that, which is the one I promised you. 3 things flip inside 8 days, and I've never seen them printed together. The ferries go first. As it stands, the summer timetable runs to the 18th of October, and the winter one starts on the 19th. Fewer sailings, fewer lake crossings, and on the thinner routes that can turn a day trip into a night's accommodation you hadn't budgeted for. On the 25th of October, the clocks go back. And that hour doesn't come off the morning, which you'd have slept through anyway. It comes off the afternoon, the half of the day you're actually going to use. Sunset in Inverness moves from 10 minutes to 6 to 10 minutes to 5 overnight. Same weekend, that castle loses 2 hours off its last admission. Same week the sailings thin out. It all lands together, and the calendar gives you no warning whatsoever. So there's your date, the trip you're picturing, the long glens and the light coming off the water. It's bookable to about the 18th. After the 25th, you're on a different holiday. Not a bad one. Shorter, darker, and a lot more of the small stuff shut. One catch before you circle the week in between. That's the school break across a good part of the country. So the middle of the month isn't as empty as you'd assume, which raises the obvious question. If the good version stops around the 18th, why pick that month at all? Because it pays you back, and it pays in things the earlier month simply can't sell you. The stags first. The red deer rut runs right through October, and in a quiet glen you'll hear it a long time before you see anything. It's a sound like a chainsaw with a grudge. The reserves out around Torridon are as good a place as any to stand still and listen. Keep well back though, they're not in a reasonable frame of mind. Then the colour. October is when Highland Perthshire turns, and the woods around Dunkeld are the easiest version of it to reach with a car. Go midweek if you possibly can. That car park on an autumn Saturday is a competitive sport, and the rain, because somebody always asks. The west of the country picks up about 3 more wet days in October than in the month before it. 3, what changes is the volume, not how often. Same number of days in a jacket, a great deal more water arriving. So pack for the amount, not the odds. Right, the answer, book the last week of September into the first week of October. That's the window I'd take, and I'd take it most years. The biting's over, the schools are back, the festival crowds have gone home, everything's still running, summer hours and summer sailings, and you've still got 11 or 12 hours of daylight to spend. If it has to be later, go early in the month and set your flight home before the 18th. Book any ferry legs first, because those are the ones with a hard date attached to them, and plan a shorter driving day than the map tells you can manage. Now, if Edinburgh in August was really your question, that city runs on its own calendar. Different problem entirely. We've a first-timer's guide to the Fringe, and it's the one I'd watch next. The thing to take away is a date, not a month. As the season doesn't end on the 1st of October, it ends on the last Sunday of the month, and nearly everything worth coming for is sitting in the weeks in front of that. Get in front of the weekend and check the hours for the day you're actually going, not the day you're booking. They move. That's the road for today. If it saved you a wrong turn, you know what to do. Haste ye back.